Did you know that New Mexico was named almost 300 years before Mexico got its name? Yeah, me neither, mostly because no one cares about the state. First, we gotta cover the very fitting nickname. New Mexico is commonly known as the land of enchantment, which is pretty accurate considering how enchanted you can become with the myriad of drug issues here, but I'll cover that in a separate point. And let's not forget about the food. New Mexico cuisine, more like bland Mexican cuisine with a dash of red or green chili. And don't even get us started on the sopapillas. Have you tried to eat one of those things without making a complete mess? It's impossible. Now, we know what you're thinking, but New Mexico has beautiful natural parks like Carlsbad Caverns and White Sands. Well, sure, if you like the taste of dust and feeling of sand in every crevice of your body, then by all means, go visit White Sands. And as for Carlsbad Caverns, have you ever tried to walk down into a damp, dark cave with 100% humidity? No thanks. There's also the lack of public transportation. If you don't have a car in New Mexico, good luck getting around. The state's public transportation is practically non-existent, and ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft are far and few between. But it gets worse. You pretty much have to drive hours on end just to get anywhere in the state. Pretty much every place worth going to is going to be spread widely across the state with only the dry desert separating them. But hey, at least you can have long, boring, and unscenic drives across the state. And then there's a lack of quality education. The state's education system consistently ranks as one of the worst in the country. If you have kids and want them to get a good education, you're better off moving somewhere else. And guess what a lacking education system creates? Yep, incredibly high poverty rates. New Mexico's poverty rates are consistently 6 to 7% higher than the national average. But hey, at least with the state's relatively low cost of living, you can afford to be impoverished here. Furthermore, why does this state have such a high crime rate? New Mexico consistently ranks as one of the states with the highest crime rates in the country. So not only do you have to worry about getting stuck in traffic or having your car broken into, but you also have to worry about your personal safety. Oh, and we can't forget about the drug issues either. High poverty combined with minimal education has resulted in New Mexico's drug abuse issues. But hey, at least you won't have a problem finding that white powder here. And then there's the people. New Mexicans are just plain weird. They have their own way of talking, their own way of dressing, and their own way of doing things. And don't even get us started on the New Mexican time mentality. It's like the concept of punctuality doesn't even exist in this state. Not to mention the state motto. Once again translated from Latin, I have no clue why, because it's not like anyone in the state will ever learn how to read Latin with its education system. It means it grows as it goes. The only thing growing in the state is the crime rate, poverty rate, and amount of sand. But let's not forget about the weather. It's hot as Hades in the summer and freezing in the winter. And don't even get us started on the wind. It's like Mother Nature decided to create her own personal wind tunnel in New Mexico. Combine that with the sand and you have unending sandstorms. Have you heard of a little thing called the snow? Yeah, it barely exists in New Mexico. So forget about those cozy snow days and get ready for icy roads and freezing temperatures. But hey, at least it's not as bad as the summers. Oh, and one last thing, I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating and it gets everywhere. New Mexico is the embodiment of this quote. If you know, you know. So there you have it. These are just a few of the many, many reasons why New Mexico is the worst state in the country. But hey, at least we have the world's largest pistachio, right? Thanks for watching, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to comment which location you'd like to see roasted next.